Good rainy morning, everyone. We're out here in the garden to show you what survived the cold. So these are great vegetables to plant in Zone 8B. Stick with us. Well, it was a pretty harsh winter here in East Texas. Actually, more harsh than it has been in a long time. We actually had 2 snowfalls this year in this part of East Texas in Zone 8B, and that is highly unusual. I don't think it's happened in decades here. We had temperatures down into the teens, which is also not very usual. It's not the standard for this area at all. And we had it for a prolonged period of time, several weeks of in the 20s and below freezing. So what survived here in our garden? Let me take you for a tour and I will show you what hung on, what died back a little bit and came back, and what just powered right through the frost and the freeze. All right, I'll save the best for last. These are not the best. These are Brussels sprouts, and they didn't get enough height coming up before it started to freeze, and they kind of died back and it stunted their growth a little bit, although they're very cold hardy. And then they came back after the freeze, so you can see the dead leaves here and some frost or freeze damage on the tops here. But you know, they look fine now, but I don't think they're going to produce by the time it gets too warm here in East Texas, unfortunately. Oh well. And let's see, over here we've got, or we had some rapini, some, I guess, Italian broccoli, rapini, and they had tiny little heads on them. And then we actually did harvest and eat some of the leaves before they died off. This is regular broccoli over here, and we have one survivor. You can see a tiny little head right in the center there. I don't think that's gonna really produce before it gets warm, but that's okay. Now you can see our attrition rate was almost 100% over here with the broccolis. We did pick some beets. I had one extra one come up here, which is kind of odd. Oh, we've got garlic. Garlic is incredibly cold hardy, and this is not even ready to pick yet. So we're gonna let this garlic go. It does not mind that cold at all. Something that doesn't mind the cold, although it took a hard hit this year, is this kale over here. You can see the damaged leaves, obviously. They're rotting out now and feeding our soil, which is wonderful. But the kale came right back. It looked much worse than this. It looked really bad. But we've got our kale, and from experience down in Houston, so Zone 9, the kale survived through the summers for me, the hot summers, which is amazing. Kale is unbelievable for surviving hot and cold both. Another incredibly cold hardy vegetable here is spinach. Now this is a curly leaf spinach, and it did not even flinch with the freeze on it or frost on it. Still tastes amazing. Over here, super cool, we've got Swiss chard. Now I'm looking at it and you're looking at it and it looks dead, right? And this produced all summer long. But check this out. Resurrected, look at that. Coming from the ashes of the dead chard are new chard plants. And all these little chard plants over here that we had planted, some of them died. Yeah, some of them are gone. Like this one on the end, totally done. But we had a lot survive. And I'll fill it in this summer, and it should be phenomenal. Okay, now to the granddaddy of them all. And this plant, I didn't know if I actually liked. I planted it, but I didn't know if I actually liked the taste because I only ever tasted it cooked with A lot of nasty stuff in it. Let's check it out. Look at this gorgeous plant. This is a collard green plant. And you would think, or you've heard, that this is just for southern cooking and just to be hard boiled with maybe some pork in there. And you know, I don't eat pork, but when I did in the past, I didn't find it very tasty at all. It kind of had a bitter taste to it, even though they added some spices and salts. And maybe it was a restaurant, though. I think it was a pretty good restaurant. But check this out. That is sweet. It's actually got an amazing sweetness to it. Sweeter than a cabbage. And it tastes absolutely wonderful, and it's tender. I wouldn't eat this any other way than raw. It's amazing. And the calcium that's stored in this plant, the amino acids, the proteins, is unbelievable. This is a very hardy, nutritious plant. Now I want to talk about this plant. This is the only one that survived. I don't know why some of the others didn't, but this plant was planted almost a year ago. You heard that right. Almost a year ago. I tried to get it to come up last spring. It didn't, but it held on for an entire year through hot, hot summer. And it looked exactly like this through the freeze. This and the spinach are the only two plants that looked like this. There's no damage to these leaves. None. How amazing is that? If you want a cold hardy plant, not just in this zone, if you want a cold hardy plant, the plant that tastes amazing, that's full of vitamins and minerals, plant collard greens, because you will be so happy. It's going to be unbelievable. All right? This is a cold hardy plant. Thanks for being with us, everyone. We appreciate it. Hope you like the information we give you on these videos. We want you to stick around, all right? I want you to go down below and hit that subscribe button. And I want you to go down below and hit that like button. Leave us a great comment. Also, share us on social media. That helps. Pin it on Pinterest. Whatever you need to do, we appreciate it. It's good to have you here, and we're gaining subscribers every day. We're so excited. We want to show you everything we're doing out here on our homestead, learning and experiencing different things and sharing what we're doing. Have a great day, everyone. We will see you on the next video. Bye.